Good evening, everyone. I'm Rochelle Whitaker, mental health therapist, educational consultant, and parent educator. My goal is to equip, empower, and educate parents on how to advocate for their children. So today is Super Bowl Sunday. So I decided to pre-record because I did not want to compete with everybody's Super Bowl parties or watching the Super Bowl. I hope that you all are enjoying the game. And okay, let's get right into it. So I missed last week, but I'm back. And so we're going to continue the series on how to help your child be successful in school. And so today, what I want to talk to you about is a little bit different, kind of than what we've been talking about. So it's really about rechanneling positive behaviors into rechanneling negative behaviors in the school setting into positive behaviors. And so I'll just use myself an example. So I have one of my children is very independent and very resourceful. So if we tell him that he can't do something, he's going to figure out a way to do it anyway, or he's going to figure out another way to get what he is to accomplish what he's trying to do, which in and of itself is a good attribute to have, right? Because if a door closes for him later on down the line, he is going to figure out another way. He has those problem solving skills or critical thinking skills where he's going to figure out another way to reach that goal. And so that is a good attribute, but it can be difficult in the school setting. So if the teacher tells, if the teacher were to tell him that he couldn't do something, instead of necessarily listening to the teacher, he's thinking about ways that he can go around it. And so, in the school setting, that could be it can lead to him being argumentative, defiant, combative. It could lead to him being labeled as such, which in really in reality for the school setting, it's not a good thing. But long term, if you look at it from two different vantage points, it is a good attribute to have the independence and the resourcefulness, the critical thinking skills, and the problem solving thinking skills. I think sometimes as parents, we only think about behaviors in the negative, right? Because those are the behaviors that the teacher is telling us that she's having problems with. Like, oh, he just doesn't listen, or he's so super defiant, or I tell him no, and he's trying to figure out another way to do it. So we're like, oh, we feel like we have to curtail those behaviors, which you do want to rechannel them. But if we think about it in a different light, those are some of those same characteristics that you see in leaders or you see in these, let's say business people that are coming up with apps and games and things like that. They're able to figure out, they're able to persist in the face of difficulty, or you may want to call that resilient. So what I want us to think about as parents is a way not to just automatically when a teacher is telling us, okay, your child is uh, maybe argumentative. It kind of goes back to when I was saying, we have to ask questions because those attributes in and of themselves are not necessarily bad. Now, they may not be conducive for the school environment, so we have to reteach our children how to use those behaviors for good. So let me give you another example. So you may have a child that is a nonconformist. So at home, when you all are doing a group activity, he may choose not to join in, right? He may, he's like, I want to do my own thing. Well, at school, that may be the same thing. The teacher's like, okay, everybody, we're doing math and we're doing problems 9, 10, 11, 12. And he's like, no, I don't want to do that, right? I want to do 1, 2, 3, right? Nonconformist, which again could be labeled as defiant, is not in and of itself a bad thing, right? So it's the things that leaders are made of, right? Because in order to be a leader, you have to be, a visionary. You have to be able to lead people. People want to follow you. So, being able to stand on your own and doing your own thing is a great attribute to have. It's just in the school environment, it may not be the greatest in that particular instance. And so it's helping that child to realize, okay, it's you as a parent working with the school to say, okay, this is a non-conformist. I see this behavior at home. What can we do? Okay, how about we allow him to have choice within, within the confines of the day that allow the that you and the teacher agree upon. And so it's like, okay, well, he's allowed to choose, this part of his day, or he's allowed to choose this activity, or he's allowed to choose whatever the case may be that the teacher is comfortable with, right? So it's not like stomping out that part of him. He's able to express it, and it's also not creating a tense environment for the teacher because she feels like he or she is continually disrupting the classroom environment. And it's kind of like the same thing at home. At home it may not be problematic because you may just say, okay, well, you can just do your own thing, or it could be, and it's also a matter of allowing them to have some choice and some say within the confines that you define. And so those are just examples. And so I just want us to start to think about, um, you know, when we hear, the teacher say, oh, she's always, she doesn't want to listen. Okay, that very same behavior may show up at home, but it may not show up in the same way. So it could be like I was saying before, like my child is independent and resourceful. So at the school environment, it could be that the teacher's saying that he's defiant and he just wants to do his own thing, or he's always figuring out another way to accomplish something, even though I've told him no. And so it's thinking about, okay, at home, he does do that. But how can I help him to understand, and what can I do? What kind of interventions could I put in place so that it's in the school environment, it's not so problematic? And so I just want us to kind of think about that, rechanneling those behaviors which may be considered negative in the school environment into, not stomping them out of our child, but just rechanneling them. Um, okay, so that is my tip for today. I'll be back next week. If you all have questions, you can DM me or email me at info@providentialcounseling.com. If you have questions about behavior, if you have questions about disabilities, special education, IEPs, um, R's, anything like that, feel free to email me or direct message me. If there's something that you want to hear, let me know about that too. And if there's a good time, okay, so this is pre-recorded, but if there's a good time that works better for you, let me know that too. I look forward to talking with you guys next week. Enjoy the rest of your Super Bowl Sunday.